This is real creek gold, and it wasn't found in the Yukon. Gold-bearing creeks run through more of America than almost anyone realizes. The Sierra, the Rockies, the Appalachians, from Georgia to Vermont, and glacial deposits scattered across the Midwest. The gold is still there, because gold is still washing down every single year. You just have to know the one rule that controls where it stops. Here's the rule: gold is lazy. It's 19 times denser than water and about 7 times denser than the gravel around it. So when floodwater blasts everything downstream, gold drops out the instant the current weakens. Always in the first place, it gets an excuse to stop, and it sinks straight down until something solid blocks it. Every spot I'm about to show you is just a place where the current slows down or the sinking stops. Learn to read those, and you can walk up to any creek on Earth and know where to dig. Spot 1. The inside of every bend. Water whips fast around the outside of a curve and crawls on the inside. That's why gravel bars build up there. Gold rides the fast water, hits the bend, loses speed, and drops onto the inside bar. Dig the upstream end of the bar and dig deep. The newest gravel on top is the poorest. Spot 2, behind big boulders. Anything large enough to break the current creates a calm shadow just downstream, a pressure drop where heavy material falls out. Gold stacks up behind boulders, bridge pilings, old logs, anything immovable. The bigger and older the obstacle, the longer it's been collecting. Dig the first foot of gravel directly behind it. Spot 3, and this is the one that pays. Bedrock cracks. Remember, gold sinks until something stops it. Bedrock is the floor of the whole system, and every crack in it is a trap that's been catching gold for thousands of years. Where bedrock is exposed, forget the gravel. Scrape the cracks. Get every gram of packed sand out of them. The gold sits at the very bottom, jammed in the tightest part of the crevice. Spot 4. The base of any drop. Waterfalls, steep riffles, even old man-made spillways churn everything up. Then the plunge pool below acts like a giant natural gold pan, swirling the light stuff out and settling the heavy stuff. Work the downstream lip of the pool and the first slow water after it, not the deep churning center. Spot 5. The one everyone misses. Old gravel above the waterline. Creeks move over centuries, and the terraces and benches above today's water are yesterday's creek bed, gold and all. Look for compacted, iron-stained gravel on the banks. Some of the richest finds in creek history came from bench gravel nobody else bothered to climb up to. Getting it out is simpler than it looks. Fill the pan, submerge it, and break everything up by hand. Shake side to side. That shimmies the gold down. Tilt and swirl so the light gravel washes over the rim, then shake again. Repeat until only dark material is left. That black sand is magnetite, heavy iron minerals, and it's the best sign in panning because whatever traps black sand traps gold. Swirl the last spoonful gently, and anything gold stays put while everything else moves. Before you celebrate, the fool's gold check. Pyrite glitters and flashes, but shift the angle and it goes dull and greenish. Real gold is buttery yellow from every direction, sun or shade, and it never sparkles, it glows. Still unsure? Press it with a pin. Pyrite shatters, gold dents and flattens like soft metal. 10 seconds, no equipment, no doubt. One last thing before you dig. Land matters. Panning is generally fine on most BLM and National Forest land for casual personal use. But active mining claims are off limits and rules change at every boundary. Our free map has a gold prospecting filter with verified panning locations, land status and access notes for every pin at rockhounding.org. First line of the description. Subscribe to get more content like this.